want to teach you 5 major goal stoppers. These are not always something that is talked about, so bear with me. It's, again, the first time I'm teaching this. The very first goal stopper is this. So basically, let me tell you a story. I was at the event where what they did was something very interesting. They have taught people to use a vision board. Anybody here familiar with that concept? Good, beautiful, you guys are amazing. So they have taught people to do a vision board, and the people who used the vision board for the very first time in their lives, what they did is they actually had a chance to put their wishes for the vision board on an actual board in a class and watch miracles happen in 3 days. I was intrigued. I wanted to learn. I wanted to see it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a really cool concept. You become aware of your goal and elements come together to make it work. And I remember sitting on the 3rd day and watching miracle after miracle happen, and I felt so bad because what I asked was less than what people are getting, but I got nothing. And I was crying. I was coming home sobbing. I'm like, why? What is wrong with me? Anybody felt that? And when I asked myself the question, obediently my mind provided. I saw all my goals, and I remembered the people that got their goals, the things that they got were things that they want. Somebody wrote, I really, really want to have a vacation with my wife. We haven't been for ages, and I really want to go somewhere. Somebody gave them freaking week away. All expenses paid, plus money for gas. I was like, holy cow. Somebody said, I really want to go on a mission. I'm missing so much. People gave them thousands of dollars to go and serve a mission. I asked for little things, and so I started comparing what was different with my goal. My goal was like, I want my children to have this, I want this for my husband. None of it was for me. None of it. There is often, we set a goal and we think it's for us, but it's not. And because it's not for us, guess what happens? Our mind is not going to work for it. Because it's not ours, it's not for us. Why would you work for something that's for others? Since the goals exist to help us find stuff that's not working, what benefit is it to work on somebody else's goals? Who is it helping? No one. No one. Because if we achieve it for them, they don't get a chance to struggle and find their stuff that needs to be removed. And we don't get to set ourselves a challenging enough goal and find the stuff that we need to remove. So it breaks all of the things. It does not help anybody. And so because of that, it doesn't work. Ready for second one? Number 2. Number 2 is what you setting a goal for what you should be wanting rather than what you actually want. Let me give you an example. One of the mentors of mine, the person who is phenomenal in LP, they help a lot of people quit harmful habits like smoking or drinking or a lot of different addictions. And they have this one woman came to them. And she was paid for by her family. And she came and she was ready to start working. And so when they were talking to her, they asked her, so why do you want to quit smoking? And she said, I really don't. My family wants me to quit smoking, so I'm willing to work for them and make it happen. Guess what happened? Not only that, the mentor that I'm talking about, he was smart enough to say, I'm not going to work on your smoking habits because it's not your goal. Does that make sense? It's kind of going back to not yours. Sometimes we want something that we should be wanting instead of looking for what we do want. And so how much judgment do we put in there? If we tell ourselves that it's not okay to want what we want, oh, but this thing we should be wanting, so we put that goal. Is that making sense? Anybody ever caught themselves doing that? those goals don't work. Again, because it's not what you want. Not only that, but it amplifies the judgment. Because not only do you judge yourself for something that you actually want, but then you also judge yourself for not getting what you should be wanting that you set up as a goal for yourself. It's like double whammy. Yeah? So, by the way, all of these are no-nos. I'm writing them here, but that's just so you are aware of it. The third one, no direction goals. Oh my goodness. I have worked with a lot of people. That's an O and that's an N. I can't talk and write at the same time. Alright, so I have worked with a lot of people that come to me and I ask them, what do you want to achieve? And their answer is, I want to remove the obstacles from my way. Anybody ever asked for that? I have one way in this room. It's okay. The funny thing is though, which obstacles? Which obstacles are we removing? Do you remember Cheshire Cat? And Alice asks him, which way should I go? And he says, well, where do you want to arrive? She says, well, I don't know where I want to arrive. So when it doesn't matter which way you go. The same thing with obstacles. Imagine that this whole room is littered with different chairs and like obstacles, and the person tells me, I want obstacles out of my way. Okay, where do you want to go? You go there, 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 there. If there is no direction picked, the goals are not going to take you anywhere. And you can endlessly remove obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. You will just be clearing somebody else's path. Because all you're doing is removing obstacles from the way without any kind of purpose. There's a really good way to get rid of that one. So by the way, let's talk about how to get out of them. Yeah, is that good? Yes. So what do you do with not yours?
Focus on yours.
Focus on yourself. Ask yourself, what do I want? Focus on I. Okay? How do you get out of the second one? Should versus want. This one is tricky. You allow yourself to want. You become super honest with yourself and say, I actually want, even if you promise yourself that you will not judge, and then you ask yourself the question, what is it that I actually want? I have seen people who said they don't know what they want, they don't have any goals, and when pushed further by a mentor, they found that the only reason they didn't know what they wanted is because the goals that they did want looked crazy and too much. Like one girl who was 17 said, well, I really want to drive a Ferrari. Ooh. Yeah, ooh, and people was like, and she was judging herself so much that she couldn't even admit that she wanted that, let alone set a goal for it. But if the person sets a goal to get themselves a Ferrari, do you think they might influence some life on the way? Do you think that they might have some inspirational stories happen? Who are we to tell ourselves that what we want is not good enough, or is not polite, or is not acceptable? The wants come from the spirit realm. The true desires, they don't come from physical. The little temporary flings come from physical part. And by the way, what's wrong with physically being happy? Right? Nothing wrong with that. But some people say like, hey, if you go after physical pleasures, you lose out on... No, if you go for counterfeits, you might miss out on some. If you go for real stuff, real pleasure of the body never comes from addiction. Real pleasure of the body does not come from overeating. Ask anybody who's ever ate too much at Thanksgiving dinner. It tastes good coming in, but then you sit there and goes like, oh, I don't feel so good. Right? It does not feel good to do stuff that's bad for you. However many people start telling you, well, if you do what you want, you end up on the wrong path. No, if you are truly accepting what you want, you end up on the right path. Did you notice that no two people want exactly the same thing? Why is that, I wonder? And where do all our drives to go and get better and do more come from? Why do we want even to have other things? Why do we want to go and influence people? Because we really want to miss out on some sleep, right? This is it. Weird. So, no direction. You pick where you want to arrive. Don't set goal until you decide what the outcome is. So find the outcome to deal with no direction. Choose an outcome. And please underline the word choose. you get to choose the outcome. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Really quick because I'm running out of time.
Okay. So I'm an author, and I'm 3 weeks away from from having my book launch.
Could we have a microphone here? Can you come up? That story, I actually wanted to share that story with you guys, and since she's volunteering, please give Marcy a huge round of applause!
Hi, Marcy Valenzuela. So I am 3 weeks away from my book launch. And this was a big thing to me. 2 weeks ago I was in with my editor, and she asked, so when do you want to have your launch date? And I had never set a date. Within 2 weeks, my book is done. And everything, just miracle after miracle after miracle. Once I had that date, things just flowed like those crazy, amazing, awesome miracles. So that's all.
Yeah. What she's forgetting to mention is that some miracles included cash showing up and people being sent in her way that provided her with things that she never thought she was gonna have. I mean, true amazing miracles. Go ahead. You're like,
okay.
to say something.
Yes. Okay. So don't know if you guys know who Leslie Householder is. She's amazing, and I've followed a lot of her principles and stuff with law of attraction, and I've done what she's teaching, where you feel what you want. You imagine that. So I got a little piece of paper. I pretended that it was a check. And I imagined that somebody was giving me this check, and just this feeling that I finally got my publishing paid for, and I'm just ecstatic. Didn't know who this person was in my mind, but I knew that that was what's going to happen. And I'm searching and looking, where can I make this be a win-win situation? And I just kept talking and talking and getting it out there. I did not ask this person, but I actually asked if I could have their help with their business to help fund my publishing. They actually came back and said, me and my wife want to help you with your publishing. I'm like, I was in tears.
Give her a round of applause! All right, beautiful. So again, pick a direction, pick a destination. Okay, pick where you want to arrive. What is it going to look like? What are you going to feel like when you have it? What does it mean that when you get that goal, what will it allow you to accomplish? Have a direction of why you're doing this. Does that make sense? Okay, next one. This one is fun because a lot of people call it doubts. Okay, anybody ever felt doubts? Here's what I call it. Belief in the opposite. That has an H in there. Because what is really a doubt? It's nothing more than a faith into something that you do not wish to happen. Fears and doubts, they're all the same thing that faith. Only you're putting the faith instead of putting it into how you want things to show up and work, you are sure, you are so sure that it's just not going to happen. Yeah? It is a belief in the opposite. It's not a doubt of the good stuff happening. It's an assurance that something bad will happen. Okay? And the way to get out of that, pick where you want your assurance to be. Pick a desired result. You see that there is a theme there? A lot of these things are very similar in how, in fact, it's like the same sentence. What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Right? It's the same sentence with different words that are becoming stressed. Is that interesting? All right, and the next one, the last one. This one, Eric is going to talk a lot more about further in the class, because one of the filters is about it. This one is comfort. Oh my goodness, this is ruining so many things. Because people confuse getting what they want with getting comfortable. Is that making sense? Okay, people confuse getting their desired outcome with being comfortable. And so we're thinking, oh my goodness, here I go for something, and it is so uncomfortable. I had, pardon my French, all heck break loose. Everything is going wrong. My finances are in a turmoil. I must have been wrong. Whoever feels that. Okay? Things are weird, I don't see how it's going to work out, I must have messed up. It was not meant to be, I picked the wrong goal. True? How do I know this? Because it's the same script, they don't even bother to change that. It's the same for everybody. Guess what happens if you buy into it? You go back a letter and start believing in the opposite. That you can't make things happen, that things don't work for you. If things, either the rules are wrong and they don't work, or they work for everybody else, just not for you. Those are the two biggest lies that people believe. One, those things that I'm learning, they don't actually work, it's all myth. And two, oh yeah, they do work, I see proof, but they don't work for me, I am an exception. Right? Any golden exceptions in here? You don't have to raise your hand. I know we are. So comfort is actually a destroyer of, not the comfort itself, don't get me wrong. Once you pursue the goals and you go again and again and you're willing to go through discomfort, do your comfort increases or decreases? Increases. It increases. Your level of life will change. The amount of money that comes through your hands will change. Now let me ask you this. If you freak out over a couple $100 being gone or present, how much more will you destroy yourself over a couple millions? So if we cannot handle emotionally having ups and downs of several $100s, how can we survive having to deal with ups and downs of millions? Money is never a straight path, it's always like this. So if we cannot let go of our attachment to needing things to be smooth and comfortable, we are going to miss out on bigger opportunities in our life, because our mind, one of the functions of our unconscious mind is to protect us. It will protect us from knowing what will destroy us, from a grief of losing the money that we don't even have yet. Does that make sense? It's like a child. You don't set up a child who couldn't feed a goldfish by giving him a newborn puppy to watch over. I mean, if it's hard to watch the goldfish die, what will they do when their puppy cannot survive? You don't set up little, person with a little capacity for a bigger hurt. It's the same with our mind. The way to get bigger amounts of money, who wants bigger amounts of money? I thought so, otherwise you wouldn't be in the class. But the way to do that is to be okay with ups and downs. Because otherwise, if you are afraid of being down and okay with being up, that's not a stable way to go. Because that creates a lot of really stressful environment, right? Who ever felt that? It's like money disappears, oh no, my life is horrible. Money's in the bank, oh, day is so beautiful, what a beautiful day today is. And it could be the difference of $10, right? Am I right? So, unless you can let go of those things, you're not going to be having bigger amounts, because your mind is not going to create a place for you to destroy yourself. Sounds good? All right, so what do we do about all this? Okay, first of all, how to get out of unwillingness to get out of comfort? Weigh the benefits. Weigh the benefits over discomforts. And look back further than you have looked before. For example, we have a tendency of going forward for the goals. Who here is going for some goals right now? Yeah, awesome. We have a tendency to go for the goal, and on the way stop, pause, and think, oh my goodness, a couple months ago I was there and now I'm here. Yeah? You guys had that happen? Saying, oh, this goal is not taking me where I want to go, it's taking me down instead of up. Yeah? But what if you looked down further and say 2 years ago in the same circumstances, I was way down here. Now I'm here. But we're comparing with yesterday. Yesterday, and all of a sudden it looks like we're lower, when actually if you compare lows with lows versus highs with lows, you will see that you have progressed. Does that make sense? Look at the bigger picture and decide, are your results worth it? And once more, consider your outcome. Okay, what is it that you want? Who will do that? Who will be mindful of those traps?
Yes.
Yeah? Are your goals worth it?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
There was like 3 people that agree with that. Are your girls' goals worth it?
Yes.
Are your goals worth being about you?
Yes.
Are your goals worth being what you want versus what you should be wanting?
Yes.
Are your goals worth having a direction picked?
Yes.
Are you worth believing in the possibility of achieving it?
Yes.
Okay. Listen to your loudness. It's like, yes, 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 yes. Now we're